we have Jill, who is an amazing, amazing leader, and I've known Jill for a long time. She's spoken at Multiplier. She's an award winner and recognized by everyone on the planet as one of the leaders in sales enablement, and also a founding member of the Boston chapter of the Sales Enablement Society. And I thought, Jill, you could introduce yourself, and then you'll take center stage, and you could tell us a little bit about Triumph. So,
thank you, Eli. I also am honored to be here. I love talking about kickoffs. It's a lot of fun. It's really a great, fulfilling part of the role of a sales enablement practitioner, in my opinion. Jill Guardia, I'm the Executive Director of Sales Enablement for Trinet. Trinet is a PEO, which is a professional employer organization. And that means that we sell HR solutions, like all-in-one HR solutions, to small and medium-sized businesses. And we're very pleased to also be a SalesHood client, and SalesHood has helped us facilitate what I consider a very good event, if not great event, for our first time going virtual. So I'm going to tell you our story. And I've got some of my team here, and Eli's used the word amazing. I think that the whole team was really amazing about pulling this together. We conducted our event for shy of 1,000 people. We support just the sales organization, and then what I would consider kind of invited guests. So guests come from all parts of the company, but you can kind of think of, you know, some folks from marketing, some folks from HR, some folks from product, executives, etc., who are always invited to even a live event. So these are the types of people that were in addition to the sales organization. But the primary audience was sales. And we had planned, like many of you, a live event. We were going to do a week-long event in Las Vegas in August. So we were well down the path on planning that event, and we had been in Las Vegas the prior August. We had what we would consider a very good event then, so we were trying to build on that and just keep going to improve it year over year. And then we got the news: you can't go to Las Vegas. You've got to do this event some other way. And so we really just immediately buckled down and said, how are we going to do this? Now, we did have some other restrictions that were given to us, which everyone probably will laugh a little bit about. You don't get that same budget, right? So if you had a big budget for what anyone would consider a reasonable budget to do a live event, you don't get that same thing to do the event virtually. And oh, by the way, no new vendors. So you got to use what you have at your fingertips. And for us, that meant that we had to use Teams, Microsoft Teams, which is our conferencing solution, go to web, SalesHood, Salesforce, Microsoft Office, kind of the things that we already had. So we immediately got to work, and we decided to create a program. A Triumph is the name of our event, and rather than having an additional theme, we just stuck with Virtual Triumph. And that worked because really, when you think about it, we were trying to triumph over all of the adversity that everyone in sales was facing in this crazy year of 2020. And so the team and I got together, and we decided that we would look at meeting the sales rep at their job. So how can we do this but not interrupt everything they do? Let them have time to conduct business, which is one of the things you often get as feedback when you do a live event is, I don't have enough time to make phone calls. I don't have enough time to do my deal. So we really chose to do that. In the end, we ended up selecting a 4-day program where we committed to not exceed 4 hours in each and every day. And then we broke that up even farther so that we took our mornings and we did what you might think of as more the general session type things. And we did that in 90 minutes or less, Monday through Thursday of that week. And then we had a nice long break. And then in the afternoon, we did more traditional training type things, breakouts and all hands type meetings. We decided that the content was really going to revolve around selling fundamentals, kind of getting back to business. All this change and shift to virtual selling in this new way just really offered an opportunity to kind of get people to go back to basics. Okay, different environment. How do I conduct my prospecting? How do I conduct my first meeting? How do I conduct a demo? How do I use this technology, for crying out loud? So we really sort of went back to basics. And then we did something which I consider unique, is that we did a call for auditions. And we put a call out to all of the sales organization, and we said, do you have a great idea that you think will be inspirational to the sales organization? Something that will give them food for thought, that they can enact that day even. And we had over 30 folks from sales think they had something, which was great. And we did like The Voice or America's Got Talent, and we actually had them come and pitch to us. And we had them also record their pitch in Saleshood so that we could have an extended version of a panel select those. And those became our kind of key themes for each and every day. So we had 4 different themes, and we had 4 keynote presenters from the sales organization. And they were part of that morning 90-minute main tent type thing. And then we layered on top of that breakout training sessions, and then all hands sessions on top of that were thematic. So let's say the first day was all about prospecting. In the morning, we had someone come talk about how they have incorporated video into their prospecting. And then in the afternoon, we did some more training on how to use video in your prospecting. And then in the afternoon, we talked about, well, what are the messages and how are you going to tie that all together? And then they could literally use that night or the next morning. And before I just wrap up, so the last thing that I think is important here is that we were able to bring 2 keynote speakers to our event, 2 external keynote speakers. And I think that was also variety and was a bit of the unexpected. So it was nice that we did that. We did 1 business speaker and 1 motivational speaker. And just the virtual way and that price tag really made that more affordable to us. And we also historically have used a comedian to host our event, and we kept our comedian. And that was a nice surprise. People didn't expect that, and it was a welcome surprise to get that sort of familiarity when so much has changed on people. So all in all, I would say our results were quite high. We got a 98% attendance across the whole thing.
Wow.
And we had a 94% positive rating overall on the event. So we were very pleased with it. And I said when we were prepping on this, I said to Eli and Kelly, during the week, I was like, wow, that was great. We should do this like 2 or 3 times a year. That everybody showed up, everybody was jazzed, everybody got really motivated. And we met them where they were. So it was not like an amazing burden of crazy effort. My team would probably argue otherwise. But all in all, it was a good event. And I do see a geo question from Danny. We're US only, so we didn't have to worry about follow the sun. But we did, so our morning event started at 8 a.m. Pacific. So that's how we did it. So we did an 8 a.m. Pacific, and then we took a big break, and then we started, I think, at 1 p.m. Pacific. We really wanted to try and keep it in essentially an 8 to 6 day, no matter where you are.
Wow, that's just, first of all, a round of applause to you and your team. Amazing. I think those of you that are listening, you know, there was a lot of knowledge that was just shared, practical, real life, 4 days I wrote down, going where the reps are, back to basics. I love how you broke the content up. I'm going to read some of the questions if that's okay, Jill. I think
Yeah.
one
Let's see if I
question,
can.
anonymous, how many members on your team and from which departments involved? And if you can't share, you don't want to share, folks, just feel free.
Yeah, so I am lucky to have a very good, solid team, and it's a decent size. So we have 15 people on the team, including myself and some contract folks. We did do it all by ourselves, though, in terms of we didn't have other people in the company. I didn't have a marketing. We chose really because we were trying to execute on a shoestring. I also do have an external event manager that we work with, and they did all the production, which was a godsend. And if you don't have those resources inside, you should find someone who can help you do that, because we never would have been able to do the production quality editing that needed to happen for the main tent stuff. We just don't have that skill set at the ready.
Right. Main tent, like what does main tent mean? For those
So main tent means like general session for everybody.
Yep.
There isn't a breakout. Everybody's there. It's usually like the executives, the keynote speakers, that type of thing. And I saw another question. We pre-recorded all of that and we stitched it all together. So literally we just had to press one button and it ran. And
but don't tell anyone.
But don't tell anyone. Don't tell, if you know anyone from Trinet, don't tell my secret, please.
There was an interesting question. How did the veterans respond to back to basics? Did they find it too fundamental?
No.
And
no.
then, yeah, go ahead.
It didn't, and I'll tell you why, because we did the training sessions that we did. We had that also came, we call it FUBU. We've always called it FUBU, predates me, for us, by us. So in addition to the auditions we did for the 4 key folks who delivered one topic a day, we did a separate audition for those FUBU sessions. They were 30 minutes in length, not to exceed 3 slides, and they were done by sellers. And we gave everyone an opportunity to select their 3 choices. And then we put everybody in according to one of their top 3 choices. And we had some directors of sales and some senior reps who delivered, and we tried to get the more tenured folks into those. And they were very pleased with them. And I see, like, so we pre-recorded all of our morning activities, and we recorded live all of our breakout sessions, and then we posted everything at the end of every day in Saleshood in a curriculum path for our SCO. So if you missed anything during the day, you could take it immediately, essentially.
No, it's great. Thank you. I think, yeah, the question, what platform did you use? So, you said, combination of everything you had, Saleshood, Teams, Office, and, no, it's great. And, and you did some free work as well with Saleshood, where you had people record some of those pitches at the beginning.
We did a little bit of pre-work and a little bit of, and we still are doing post-work. We just did this in August, and that's all done in Saleshood.
No, this is great. I think, let's see here. Any other questions there that are interesting that we didn't cover? There's a lovely idea of themes for each day. Did you incorporate gamification at all?
So we did not really incorporate a formal gamification. We did use Kahoot throughout a variety of places, but we do want to do that in the future. We kind of got wrapped around the axle about what could we really do with Microsoft Teams, and really didn't want to push the envelope too far. We wanted to control what we can control, and so we kind of paused on that.
No, it's great. I think so Danielle was asking if you've tested and certified, and so you're doing some post stuff now.
Yeah, we continue to do that. We didn't do any tester certification during but we continue to test and certify all along the way, particularly on messaging. And we're rolling out selling through curiosity, which is the opportunity to, when you go back to selling fundamentals through that, we'll be doing a lot of reinforcement and testing. And that all dovetails into what we did within the conference.
Jill, you're amazing. Your team's amazing. Trinet's amazing. We're a happy Trinet customer. And here's what we're going to do. I think let's give Jill a round of applause. And thank you, Jill, for sharing.